All right, everyone. Thank you once again for joining us on Rockland News. And Tom Osa is your host, but this time Tom Osa is not talking on behalf of Rockland News. Tom Osa is talking on behalf of Rockland Music Fest 12, coming to Bowline Point Park on Saturday, September 12th. We're going to have 6 bands, including our headliner, Appetite for Destruction, is the largest Guns N' Roses tribute band on the entire East Coast of the United States, and they're coming to us. We're not going to them. They usually play over at the Paramount in Huntington and Long Island, PNC Bank Art Center. I mean, I've seen them. They're fantastic. We know the drummer. They gave us a great deal. They're coming to Rockland, and they're going to be overlooking the Hudson River at Bowline Point Park this coming Saturday, September 12th. So you got to get tickets. And that's the reason why I'm on the air right now. This is going to be I'm thinking about this. I don't know if I can work this out with my schedule, but basically every day at 12 o'clock, we're going to have new updates about Rockland Music Fest 12. So this first episode is going to serve as a little bit of a data dump. We've been organizing this thing for the last 11 plus years, and it is a huge, huge undertaking that continually gets bigger and bigger. Imagine rolling a tiny snowflake and turning it into a snowball and then turning it into a snow boulder, but rolling it uphill. And reminder, snow is slippery, so you could always fall down the hill if you make the wrong move. That's what this feels like. Now, the good news is that we got a lot of organization around the 11 years that we've done. And we've gotten really great connections with over 45 bands in Rockland County and in the Hudson Valley. So we got a really good, if you will, we got a deep bench of amazing musicians and performers. Not worried about that. But on the downside, all right, this is the things that we've been dealing with behind the scenes. First of all, I had a bit of an ankle injury about a month ago. So I was walking around at like 30%, 50%, really rehabbed the darn thing. So it's pretty much back to normal at this point. I'm very thankful. Special thanks to my wife that put up with me and the good Lord for healing me. But I have to say, it was definitely one hell of a month. But got the chance over the weekend to refresh my inner battery. And I haven't been able to do that for the past 2 years. Mazstock 2026 was up in Marlborough County. This one was a beautiful yet bittersweet one. The festival organizer's wife passed away last year. Beautiful woman, inside and out, just a one of those shining star lights that was inspiration for the festival every year. And they worked very well together on it, and really happy, good vibes amongst a very easygoing community. Some of them were stoners, just saying. In addition to that, there was another part of this festival where basically, Lee has been having some health things that were going on, and we're not going to go too deep into that. That's his business, not ours. But he mentions it on Facebook publicly. But he's been dealing with a few things here and there. So, I honestly don't know. It might be the last Mazstock festival. But as is all good efforts and brands, it can transform into other things. So if it doesn't happen in person, I have a feeling that the spirit of Mazstock is always going to be out there. Um, I was as I was doing some notes for Rockland Music Fest, and I looked over to the soundboard trailer. So it has a silver outline and everything. And I try not to trip out on different concepts too much because, I don't want to weird it out. But sometimes I look at something, I was like, oh, wow, that looks like, and that's basically what happens when I was looking over at the trailer. I saw on the reflection, it looked like an image of Jerry Garcia playing music and just kind of I looked at it for a moment. I'm not even a Grateful Dead, like a huge Grateful Dead tribute band or anything like that. But I looked at it, I was like, wow, that looks pretty cool, man. And so I think that the spirit of these Mazstock festivals will continue to live on. And hey, like Jim Morrison said from the Doors, maybe at some point we'll get together one more time. Might happen next year. It might happen a few years from now. But bottom line is, it was a really, really well done festival. Really great vibes. Got to hang out with my friend Jennifer and her husband Glenn and a few guests. And I have to give a huge, huge shout out to my buddy John Sandak. I know he's kind of like he doesn't like to be out on the socials or anything like that. I can't blame him. Probably came up with that conclusion after watching me go out there like an idiot for like 15 years. But John came up to the festival yesterday. I'm sorry, on Friday, and we hung out, we camped out, we stayed overnight. We just had some great laughs and so watched some amazing bands there. And I gave him a call on the way back. I was like, "Hey, man, what'd you think?" He goes, "I had a really good time," and that's what I was hoping for. I wasn't, expecting that he was going to be like, "Dude, this was like the most amazing thing since sliced bread." No, just wanted him to kind of like feel the. I don't want to say the energy, but definitely the vibes of the people there, the music, just the effect that it has on the soul. Because there was definitely some soul up there over the past weekend. So now, it's like coming down the mountain. I feel refreshed and ready to go and take this snowflake of an idea that we came up with in 2015 and continue rolling it up the hill. Now, the next 3 weeks are going to be unbelievably steep. Unbelievably steep. I'm just scheduling 4 hours a night for sleep. And if I get a few extra hours, great. But morning to night, it's just going to be all about Rockland Music Fest. Um, most of the details are in place logistically, and we have all the bands set up. I'm actually going to read them off to you. So again, as I mentioned before, we have Appetite for Destruction, the largest Guns N' Roses tribute band on the East Coast. But we also have five amazing local musicians from the Hudson Valley. I'm going to start with JP Conks. JP is coming from Orange County, but he performs in Rocklands regularly. And in addition to that, I know him for almost 20 years, for better or for worse. JP and I argue about politics. As you know, it's very, very difficult to be friends with someone that has, let's just say, completely disparaging political ideas. But I'm thinking that this is going to be a good year for us to really just say, you know what? F you. I don't agree with you, but you're still my friend and rock on and everything like that. That sort of vibe. And then just go about it. And JP, for years and years, I've seen him perform. The dude is absolutely amazing on guitar. Amazing. And he's got a great band. He actually performed at the Stony Point Seals Polar Plunge. We had him booked, I think, for 2022 or 23, but he performed at the Stony Point Seals Polar Plunge. I'll see if I can find a previous performance that he did. It's on YouTube somewhere because we record everything, not just for Rockland News, but even before that. It's pretty amazing. And he will be performing. His spot is going to be at 6 o'clock. Again at Bowline Point Park, September 12th. He's going to be performing, and he'll be opening up for Appetite for Destruction. Appetite for Destruction is going to be performing. They're scheduled to hit the stage at about 7:30. So that should give it enough time, make it relaxed. So JP's doing his thing. And then prior to that, local celebrity, and he's been making the tour. He's been, playing out in New York City and all about Michael Hilliard and the Working Class, my friend. And Michael and I go back even more than my network administrator, who I know since I'm 11 years old. So my grandfather had the bike store right down the road over here in West Haverstraw for many years. We had it right next to Ryan's Tavern, for those of you that remember that. Right next door was the Italian Food Center. It was in the next parking lot complex, Luigi's, for those of you that know. And Mike Hilliard worked there for, I'm guessing, probably like about 10 years. And I would be there every Wednesday picking up either some sort of like an Italian meatball hero or seafood Frava Diablo. They had that great, great pasta that they made for years over there, just like a huge container, and just nom, 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 nom. It's like about $8, believe it or not. Michael was there, and yeah, he's just a cool guy. He's always been into music. I've always been into music, and his band's Michael Hilliard and the Working Class. You can actually check them out on Spotify and Apple Music. He's got a great video. It's on YouTube as well. It's called "Pour Me a Drink," and it really just catches the local vibes of Rockland County of yesteryear. So check it out. Michael Hilliard in the working class. He's probably going to hit the stage at around 5 o'clock, FYI. And then at 4 o'clock, prior to him, because we're going back in time, we want to focus on obviously headliners. Because listen, one thing that bothers me is people don't come for the locals, and they should. They really should. But that's why we get a headliner so that the awareness is there, and then they can look at the awesome lineup that we put together every single year for the past 11 years. And we're not stopping with that anytime soon. So before Michael Hilliard, we're going to have one of three bands, and I'm going to put them in the mix here because I haven't figured out the exacts here, but they're amazing. All right. So you're going to have Regular Riot. Okay. And then if you remember from, was it like the Honeymooners? Oh, Alice, you're a regular riot. This band, and they play contemporary 90s, 2000s, and 2010s music. When they auditioned for the music festival, they actually brought in a Gin Blossom song, and Gin Blossoms are actually originally rooted in Rockland County, New York. We also have Lillian Grove and the Groove Cats, and she's going to be playing along with the band funk and hip hop style music. Absolutely fantastic. I shouldn't say hip hop. It's really just groove and funk and jam. It wasn't really hip hop when we saw the audition, but I mean, they put on a performance. I mean, she was swinging, man. That's the only way I could say it. She was swinging. Fantastic. And so Lillian Brown and Groove Cat, they will be performing at Rockland Music Fest sometime between 1 and 3 p.m. We will also have Lillian Grove. Oh, and my friend George Romano. George Romano is going to be performing at Rockland Music Fest. You can catch George at least several times a month over at Kobe Sushi, located in New City, New York. They're usually doing jazz on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturday nights, and George performs there regularly. So I decided it was kind of like a last minute addition. He wanted to audition, but I says, "Man, I saw your audition because you were over at Kobe so many times, and I love your music." There's a lot of performances of him. Excuse me, I got the hiccups here. Pause for coffee. Thank you. He was over at Kobe Sushi multiple times, and I was like, "You're in." Even though you didn't audition, you're fantastic, and you can catch previous performances of George Romano right now if you go over to Rockland's News on Facebook, and we have those videos regularly circulating. So it's definitely a really cool thing that you should definitely check out. And that is going to be our lineup for Rockland Music Fest 12. I can't even begin to emphasize the amount of work that's ahead of me, just tying it back into the original premise of what we were on the air for. There's a lot of stuff that we have to do in a very short period of time. So, one of the big things is taking what took 8 months to plan last year and condensing it into 3 months. So I really had a 90-day plan putting this thing together along with some trusted colleagues such as Michael Dolce, MBD Studios, located in Nyack, New York. And he's been a friend of mine for over 10 years now. We've been through multiple networking groups together. And I think Michael, I have joined you in yeah, whatever, that's cool, with the networking. I'm just done. 20 years of it. It's like, I made my bones with them. It's like fare thee well, if you will. And I'll see them at the next get together if time permits. Um, but yeah, Michael and I go way back. We're both in web design. He is an amazing graphic artist. He's got comic book series out. He's got podcasts. He's just a really cool dude. And I'm looking forward to working with him once again on this Rockland Music Fest. We also have some new operations managers that are coming in to help with the details that I don't know about. Like, for instance, sanitation and making sure that the proper amount of security and provisions are there. All the insurance is pretty much in place. We always have a policy from Hartford every year thus far to make sure that no calamities occur. And by the way, just in case you're wondering, where can I get tickets? Obviously, go to the Googles or the Chat GPTs or the wherevers, the socials, and just type in Rockland Music Fest. You could also go to rocklandmusicfest.com. You can push the Get Tickets Now button, and then you can buy them right now Drum roll, please. That's the best I could do with the drum roll. There's no machine for that right now. So, what everybody wanted to know is how much am I going to charge for these tickets? In these deep economic disparaging times, are we going to charge $285 for your Guns N' Roses tribute band ticket? And the answer is no, 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 no. We are telling inflation, go F yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. You can go to Rockland Music Fest right now and pick up your tickets for just $24. That's right, $24 for a ticket to see 6 amazing bands, including our headliner, Appetite for Destruction, the East Coast's largest Guns N' Roses tribute band. $24. If you don't buy a ticket, I'm done with this whole thing. Goodbye. This is all I got. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. $24. Okay? For 6 bands, that's $3 per effing band. I'm not going to cry. All right. And then I do got to say, the ticket price is actually going to go up. All right. However, then, because we're in phase 2 right now. All right. So for the next 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. For the next 12 days, we're going to have that. You can also use a promo code to reduce the price of the ticket further. Last year, we had over 50 promo codes. This year, we're cutting it down. There's only going to be a total of, guess how many promo codes? 12. That's it. 12. All right. Somebody else wants the promo code? No. 12. All right. 6 of them we're giving out to the bands. All right. Because the bands, they bring the people. So Appetite for Destruction gets one. Definitely consider, if you're a local, use a promo code from one of the bands. Okay. Really. Use the promo code from one of the bands. And they get a cut. They get $5 per ticket. And we compensate everybody. We have had to cut the budget a little bit this year. But luckily, the founder of this festival is highly skilled and trained in guerrilla marketing. Example. While we were at Mazstock, we paid a vendor fee to be allowed to hand out cards about Rockland Music Fest 12. That's our hidden secret, by the way, is in the North, we have a really great enclave of amazing musicians and artists. You're going to see a lot more of them over the years, especially after Rockland Music Fest 12. But this one, I went out and hand cards. I also talked with the festival organizer, one of them. His name is Vinny. And Vinny's awesome. I can't say. I try not to hero worship. It's, as a guy, there's a little bit of an insecurity in my mind about hero worshiping other guys, especially ones that because it just makes it very awkward. And I consider Vinny just a friend. I don't know him as well as my close friends like John and Mike, Jen, Dan, Pete. Those guys, I really get along with them. I know Vinny, a little bit more distant, but every time he gets on the stage with Alpha Male Gorillas, his band, and we have some footage from that. I'm going to be posting that to Rockland News, quite frankly. But every time he hits the stage, I just this inner freaking comes out of me. And that was part of the recharge that I needed. Okay. But I'm talking with Vinny, and as a promotional item for the tickets that we were bringing up to Mazstock, to offer, we were offering, I got a pack of butt scratchers off of Amazon. They're actually back scratchers, but we went around going, butt scratcher, butt scratcher, butt scratcher. And then somebody comes up to me and is like, hey, how much are these? They're just $5. But if you buy a ticket for Rockland Music Fest, you get it for free. So I go to Vinny. I was like, yeah, I got these butt scratchers. He goes, dude, I will buy 2 of them. I was like, I'll tell you what, you can have these for free if you announce Rockland Music Fest from the stage on when you do your Alpha Male Gorillas set, which was, and he did it. Like I was really appreciative. And there's like this part of me like watching him on stage do this and then just like freaking rap out like an animal while he's playing guitar to rock and is like, it's all mesh. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for, right? And I just like I almost hero worship. It's like, oh man, he's so what? Stop, don't think that. So I just went up to him. I was like, hey man, I really appreciate, like, this is after the show. I was like, I really appreciate you doing that. And he's like, we both grunted and walked away. felt felt good in that moment. So Vinny, if you're listening, I know you guys are still cleaning up from Mazstock. I can't even begin to tell you how much I appreciate you guys. And this was a really bittersweet Mazstock, but it was one that will definitely stay in our hearts and minds for many, 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 many years to come. I'm so glad I was part of that. I got to hang out, like I mentioned, with Jen and Jennifer Hewitt. She's a friend of mine for many years, her friend Glenn and several others, and just a great cast of characters and amazing bands. If you see the lights in this thing, you just like it's the thing that really makes a difference at these performances. So, and stay tuned for some other announcements about that after Rockland Music Fest 12. Okay, so this ties back into the guerrilla marketing. Alpha male gorillas, guerrilla marketing. So you have me as a person that's been trained in the skills of guerrilla marketing, and we will be employing them like a maniac over the next 18 days. You're not going to see me much. You're not going to hear from me much, but the effect of it is going to resonate in the community. And you might see me popping up in different towns, just handing out cards just randomly to people. And, we'll make arrangements as best as possible with the supermarkets and establishments. We'll also be doing free giveaways for tickets for Rockland Music Fest. Make sure that you listen to this promo every time that we're on the air. That's the capacity that you'll hear me in, is on Rockland's news on this podcast. So if you hear this, spread the word, let people know that we're going to be doing giveaways on this show and many other. We're also going to be doing interviews with each of the bands. I don't have the schedule for that yet, but I imagine that that'll probably happen within the next week or so, where we'll get the schedule of uh, different bands and talk about their roots and everything. I can't wait to get Michael Hilliard in the working class on, because he's just an amazing performer. Again, you can catch his YouTube video, Pour Me a Drink. Michael Hilliard in the working class playing over at Rockland Music Fest 12 on Saturday, September 12th, again with their headliner, Appetite for Destruction, the largest Guns N' Roses tribute band on the East Coast. There, I said it. So a lot of guerrilla marketing, a lot of effort goes into this. What else? What else? What else? Oh, and we're starting to work with our vendors. We're going to be putting our announcements out. We need approximately 12 vendors for this. And we're working on up to 12 food trucks, although I cannot guarantee that because, again, little setback in the marketing efforts. So we're going to put the word out there. We will make sure that everybody has a healthy selection of awesome foods. I do reiterate that. So just something to be aware of. There will be frequently asked questions answered on the frequently asked questions section of the website. That is ground zero, ladies and gentlemen, for all of our efforts for writing up stuff. And then we're going to put stuff on Facebook and the interwebs and so on. And special thanks to Anu from Anu Socials. So Anu is going to be taking over the social media component of Rockland Music Fest. And I imagine she's going to be knocking it out of the ballpark. I know her for almost 2 years now, and didn't get the chance to work with her last year because we already locked in our social media person for promoting out the festival. But she and I, we just get along. We met over at that networking meeting that I left, that BSPN thing, which is a good group, by the way. And we talked over at Kobe Sushi about a few different things. And she has a very patented process for dealing out the social media information. She uses I would say, the footage in very innovative ways that stand out and get you reading, get you interested. So check her out, anewsocials.com. And you can schedule a free consultation with her to see if it's a right fit. And if you need any more information about her, because she is one of her advertisers on Rockland News, you can reach her at anewsocials.com. What else do we have to talk about with let me just go over to our we have this Kanban for Rockland Music Fest with all the details so that everybody on the team can see it. Let me go to that Kanban. And this is what I was doing yesterday at, I would say, about, well, let's see. I got up at 6 o'clock in the morning after just like an insane night before at Mazstock. Went to sleep at like around 2 o'clock in the morning. I was up by about 6, 7, something like that. Went to pick up my big ass breakfast burrito over at my man. I forget what his name is, but like he's always there every year for the last 10, 12 years at Mazstock. And just a really cool dude. He brings his dog. It's like, an outdoor food truck. And he actually gave me some really, really good advice for the future about the festivals and food trucks. So, yeah, definitely cool about that. So let's see. What do we have as far as like the different details for this that we worked on? Well, I mentioned that the tickets are going to be $24. Um, oh, really important. We are looking for volunteers. Very important. We're looking for volunteers, and the only way that I could put this is we'll try to keep the details of what you need to do as minimal as possible. You obviously get a free ticket. We want to make sure we give back somehow. So maybe we'll like do a 2-for-1. Like if you're a volunteer, you get a ticket, obviously, but you can also bring a friend that could be there for free. I think that's the way we'll do it. Yeah, perfect. Okay. So volunteers, see, sometimes we come up with these ideas in the moment. Um, it's a beautiful thing. If you want to be a volunteer, we'll give you a free ticket and another one for a friend or a family member that you would like to bring. Questions that we received over the weekend. Are dogs allowed? The answer, unfortunately, is no. We are on a paid, I'm sorry, we're on a public land at the park. So we follow all regulations of the municipality. We've done that for years. That will not stop unless we're at a private facility. And, it's like, we want to bring in like a light show or more amps and stuff because we do like it going to 11. I just want to say that. So dogs are not allowed, nor cats, nor parakeets. Fish, probably not. Vendors, you can sign up at rocklandmusicfest.com. You can sign up. It's $120 to be a vendor. Next, cleaning crew. Special thanks to Gateway Services for handling cleaning at the event. It's a big pickup every year. Last year, after Rockland Music Fest 2025, we had, I forget the sanitation company. Let me see if I could find it because I want to give them a shout out. I was in the trenches with them after the festival. Uh, Cleaning. Just look at Sandoval Cleaning. They handled the cleaning over at Boulder Stadium last year. And I very much remember afterwards, and they had their own crew. And there's something inside me that said, you know what? I want to help. I mean, even if it's symbolically or whatever. So I threw some gloves on, some sanitary gloves, and I was scrubbing toilets at about 11:30 at night over at Rockland Music Fest 11. So thank you, Sandoval, for getting me involved in that. I guess the thing is to understand every aspect of this so that when the time comes that we can deploy, we know that we can bring in the right companies for this. This year, we're going to have Gateway Cleaning Services. They've already agreed to do so, and we'll have them for taking care of sanitation and other things. Um, Advertising, you don't want to hear about that. Sound. All right. We're working on a fantastic sound company. Stage. We're working on a fantastic stage company that is not the stage company from last year. I'll never hire them again. I'm not going to name their names on the air because I'm not an idiot, but anybody that knows what I'm talking about. Don't use them if you know. And if you don't know, well, now you know. Fundraising. And that's down to our sponsors. We always are aiming to get great sponsors in on the mix every single year. So we're going to start off with our premier sponsor is Rockland Green. Thank you very much for being with us on the Rockland Music Fest journey. We were able to have you as a sponsor last year. And we're going to have you big and bannered up on the main stage this year. We very much appreciate you. We also have Hauser Brothers. Thank you for jumping into the fray. Thank you for considering the message that we have this year, which is slow the F down on the road. And I was talking with Oksana Hauser approximately 2, 3 weeks ago, and we were talking about our mutual losses in families. She lost a family member due to terrible driving, and I lost a family member due to terrible driving. So, this year's festival, we're going to be giving back any proceeds that we have remaining after expenses. They're going to be donated to two families that either lost a loved one in a car accident or were severely injured in a car accident. So we decided to open it up a little bit. And by the way, I haven't mentioned this, but about 2 weeks ago, we decided to kind of change the paradigm just a little bit because we realized it's not about the people that just die, but it's also the people that remain and suffer as a result of these catastrophic accidents. And it really didn't even dawn on me until my own freaking ankle injury about a month ago, because that's, exponentially multiplied when you get hit by a car. I don't even want to go into it. Security will be handled by Cop Call. Thank you, Richard Kenny from Cop Call. You were there at the stadium last year working with Jim Keenan from J. Keenan Security. And thank you for taking the leadership role this year because I need it, man. I just do. So thank you. We got to have that meeting so that we can coordinate everything. And we'll also have a meeting with the Haverstraw Police Chief to make sure that everything is well organized. I appreciate you, man. And you are an advertiser on Rockland's News now, not just for 3 months, as we're offering to all of our sponsors, but for the next year. Thank you. Lights, Jerry Piscatelli, my man, Jerry Piscatelli is going to be handling the lights for us. He's actually going to be lending us some equipment, which I greatly appreciate. Yo, man, if you need to, I mean, you don't even have to. Like, we will rent it, I mean, and I'll be handling the lights along with the video this year. So I will make sure everything's accounted for. I will make sure that everything is organized back to the way it is and that it's safe and it's secure. Luckily, I got the Chauvet DJ 40 over here, so it can handle up to, I'd say, like about 12 different scenes and approximately 8 different individual settings. So I should be okay. And then I can put the rest on auto. So, I'm sure you can school me on that. That's not a problem. And I'm looking forward to it, man. You're going to be, like they say in the Fish concerts, it's like, the fifth band member is the lighting guy. So, yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate you. You see, I mean, if anybody that's listening to this, you could just imagine the amount of complexity that goes into these individual events. Um, I want to mention something that's really important, and I haven't really talked about it except just cryptically over the last year, and it's been tough for me to keep in. There's something that's very therapeutic about these podcasts because I get to talk my inner self in a way that I don't, let's just say, feel criticized because I'm a little sensitive in certain areas, like on decisions, and sometimes that makes me kind of a stubborn person. But there's some things that challenges that happened over the last year or two in terms of trying to pay for these festivals that really took it took a piece of my soul, man. It's like and in music you don't want your soul taken. That's just it. So last year when we finished up Rockland Music Fest 12, and in part because of the bill from the stage company, we were about $25,000 in the hole. Now, we had to pay proceeds to the charitable recipient of the year, and that was Meals on Wheels. So, we're trying to do this every year for a good cause because we know that you have to give back. It's just part of it. You just do. I don't care what you're doing in life. For those of you that look at, like, the +1 - 1 = 0 equation, everything's got to balance out. But also on the flip side, you don't want to just do it for pure entertainment unless you're paying like a huge premium. You also want to do it so that it's a good cause, something that is a good endeavor all around. It's 360, man. Just total 360. But before you 360, you got a 180. So, basically I'm saying is like every year we have a charitable cause that really makes sense for that particular year. Last year was Meals on Wheels. Before that, we had Bridges, Stony Point Police Athletic League. We had Habitat for Humanity. Rockland was a great charitable recipient. We very much appreciate them. But those are those things. All right. So last year, and I remember this very, very clearly, we had 11 bands there, including a concert, a concerto opera singer trained named Ayo Chill. We had about 1,200 people over the course of the entire day. But realistically, at any given moment, it was about maybe 100 to 500, 400 people max in the stadium. Okay. 100 to 400 people in a stadium that holds about 6,000 people. Now, I never expected to blow out that stadium in year one. My estimates were somewhere between 1,000 and 4,500 people, with obviously the high ends very unrealistic to happen, but that's why we create a range. So we settled in on, between 1,000 and 2,500 was going to be the likely number. And we hit the likely number in terms of like the overall ticket sales. It was 1,200 people, give or take like about, I guess, maybe 25 people. I don't have the exact number in my head. So it's 1,200 people, but over the course of a day that lasted from 12 o'clock until 10 o'clock with the open gates. So you can imagine, especially at the very beginning, there was a very small number of people. And, it built over the day, but people also left. I'm standing there on the field, okay? And I had already estimated in my mind that I was going to be down maybe about, I don't know, $10,000, which I, through our companies, Rockland's web development systems and Rockland's news, that we would pay over the course of several more months. All right. And, sometimes I looked back and I saw only maybe about 350 people in the stands, on the pavilion where the food pavilion is and everything like that. Listening to two of the bands that were playing, we had three stages. Two of them were on the pavilion, one by the welcome stage, one over by was it like third base, all the way behind. I looked back, 350 people, and that's exactly when the performance hit, and I realized that my numbers were way off. I thought I was going to be 8,000 in the hole. Based on ticket sales, I estimated at that point I was going to be under by about $20,000. Okay. And I ain't a millionaire. Okay. We got two companies that work very, very well, but there's metrics. And I had not provisioned for a $20,000 hit. Well, I did start crying. But in the most beautiful way, because the opera singer was playing at the same time. So it was like it was very, very, very bittersweet. Kind of like the feeling that I got when, you know, our friend at Mazstock, the founder of Mazstock, Lee Mazzola, he was on stage, and we do this every year, and we do this together. And when we play that Pink Floyd song, and that part where it's like, how I wish you were here. We're just two lost souls swimming in a fish bowl, not Paul. Sorry. Had to make a little bit of humor out of it. We're just two lost souls swimming in a fishbowl year after year. Okay. And we all sing that together. And we sing it a few times together. And this one, at the beginning, Lee kind of broke down crying. And that's what I felt on the field when I was listening to A.O. Chill do the opera song, realizing that there was going to be a huge year to come afterwards, and really just asking God for the inner strength. And so we get it. And I hope you get it. This year, we're going to be doing it not just for the music, but I think a good cause. We're going to be doing it for traffic safety awareness. We're going to be doing it to try to prevent injuries and deaths from traffic accidents in Rockland County. And I hope you'll join us on this because it'll tell me where to go next. I don't have a plan for after this one. Um, this at this point, it's your show as much as it is mine. I've done the early years with it to be able to shape it and go through the stress, but I also want to enjoy it as it grows as well. So let's see it. Let's see a lot of people at this festival at Bowline Point Park, Rockland Music Fest 12 at Bowline Point Park. And this one is going to bring in the largest Guns N' Roses tribute band on the East Coast. Appetite for Destruction. And the vibe that you get is going to be a unique one because that's what we're doing this show for. We want you to get the vibes of what we're creating over the years. So there's always little things that have to happen every year to make sure that it's awesome. In this case, condensing now a 90-day plan into 18 remaining days before Rockland Music Fest 12. Tickets on sale now at rocklandmusicfest.com. You can still get them for just $12. Oh, no, no, no. They're $24 now, but they're not bad. I mean, if you think about it, you get 6 bands. That's $3 per band. Plus, you get to see the largest Guns N' Roses tribute band on the East Coast. So, yeah, I think the vibes that I got from the North have returned to Rockland County. Got to bring them south. Not going to New York City, just here. And I'm appreciative of everybody that's helped out over the years. And I want to say this. I want to stop and say one more thing before we get off the air. I know my friends think I'm nuts. I know my wife thinks I'm nuts. And let's just face it, I am nuts. All right. Uh, my friend and colleague Lara said that I'm a lovable lunatic. And I'm going to have to agree with that diagnosis. Hopefully, I don't say anything too crazy. And hopefully, I'm making the right choices. But if you can help me out with this one at Rockland Music Fest 12, it'll really, really be appreciated because, just being able to create something and take a bit of a step back. Some of the most beautiful moments that I have at these festivals over the last 11 years is not when I'm in the front of the stage. And I do that too, obviously. I'm like, yeah, rah. All right. It's when I'm all the way back looking at the stage from, I want to say like about maybe 100 to 200 feet away, just to really, really take in the atmosphere. I do it at Matastock too. Like I just step back. I usually take a picture. And that's what I'm hoping you guys can help me with because, we've had some stinker concerts over the years. The 6th concert that we did, we actually had to take it out of Rockland because we couldn't get the permits required in order to do the festival. So we did it up north. We did it in Highland Falls. We had 7 people there. I'm not kidding. So 7 people to 1,200 people as of last year is pretty good. And we got a mailing list of like about 10,000 people. We're going to keep on working on that. I think the next goal for that, if we do this, is 100,000. But yeah, we're happy. But yeah, if we can get a really, really cool shot of the audience and everything like that, I think that'll cement this thing. And that'll give us a good indication that we should keep going with it. And if not, we'll just take pictures of the band up close. Still going to look good, but help us out. Let's get that really cool band shot. I call it the money shot. That's what I call it. The money shot is, and we've done it a few times before. I'd say out of the 11 concerts that we did, probably four to 5 of them, we've had really, really, really great attendance. But some of them we haven't. Some of them we've had 7 people. I'd say like the one that was like the most disappointing was when it was like really, really hot and humid out and it was like raining up, on and off. And we maybe had like about, I don't know, about 65 people there, something like that. And at this point, I was just like, yeah. And that was a tough year for me. I was just like, you know what? Do I really want to do this again the next year? But the year after, we had like about 200 people there over the course of the day. So I'm like, okay, that's starting to build. Year after, we had 300. And the last one, we had 500. And then 2025, we had 1,200 people. So that tells me that the Fibonacci sequence that we've been kind of aiming toward with all of these endeavors is seemingly now going in a scalable fashion. Thank you, Jeff Bezos, for those numbers. All right, so yeah, that I guess that's all I got, and I hope that you enjoyed these ramblings. Now it's to get to work. It's 12:47 in the afternoon. We have a variety of different things that have to happen before Rockland Music Fest 12 again at not Clover Stadium. Sorry, Bowline Point Park. Yes, Bowline Point Park on Saturday, September 12th, with Appetite for Destruction, the largest Guns N' Roses tribute band on the East Coast. Tickets on sale now for $24. All you have to do is go to rocklandmusicfest.com, push the button, and buy your tickets. We also will have some price increases. They're going to go up to $36 next week, but you can get a promo code from one of the bands. We're going to have 12 different promo codes out there, and then you could select the one of your choosing. Please choose a band, because then each promo that you give to them, they get $5. All right. And we're paying them as well. But let's show our appreciation by dropping those $5 in their pockets right now. Do it. We got everything on Eventbrite. You can actually go directly to Eventbrite. Go xii.eventbrite.com. And that'll take you directly to the Eventbrite location where you purchase the tickets. We're also going to have some 2-for-1 deals coming out. We're going to be launching those in the next few days. And again, just a ton of work that has to happen in order for this to really, really go in the right direction. Oh, by the way, one more thing. You're going to get to hear some of the music from the original bands that are going to be performing at Rockland Music Fest 12. I completely forgot about this. I apologize. You're going to be able to hear the music from these original bands because we're going to be posting them as these social media streaming shows, and you can listen to all of that on the Rockland Music Fest Facebook group group. It's on Facebook. Just type in Rockland Music Fest. You're going to click on that. That's going to be running starting 12 days. I'm a little obsessed with this 12 number this year. Bear with me. Just trying to get it in everybody's mind. All right. So 12, all right, 12 days before, we're going to start running all of the music, the original music from these guys. We're going to be running it at rocklandmusicfest.com so you can listen to the performances. I know that when I go to see, I don't know if you guys do this too. Work with me, walk with me, talk with me. Have you ever been driving to a concert, let's say PNC Bank Art Center, or you go to Madison Square Garden or the Beacon or anything, nice venues, obviously, right? And, you're with your friends and you don't exactly know the bands that you're going to see. So they throw it on the radio, all right? Or these days streaming, and you kind of listen to the pattern of the music before you get there. And then when you hear the live performance, you're already tuned into it. So that's what we're going to be doing with the original music so that you guys can listen to it in advance and really enjoy it. And then, sing along. I don't know if you're going to sing along to everything, but if there's anything you're going to be singing along to, definitely check out Michael Hilliard and the Working Class. He's got a song called Pour Me a Drink that's going to be amazing. So just wanted to put that out there. But yeah, all these things and more about Rockland Music Fest. I should note that this is also going to be something that's going to be kind of therapeutic for me, just being on the air and talking about it, because there's a lot of stuff that goes on in this noggin of mine. In the words of Ed Norton, the wheels are always turning. They are. But I think I'm at the point where I need to get it out in public as much as possible. I don't care if anybody is or is not listening to me right now, but it will help me to organize this thing. So you're going to kind of get inside the mind of Tom Osa at any given moment if you go on to these Rockland Music Fest shows. So I just want you to make you aware of that in advance. But we're going to have a lot of great music out there. And, it was just through this show that this was something that was discussed several months ago. And I completely forgot about it that we were going to actually do the music on the air. So stay tuned for that. I think it's time. Wow. Well, keep learning, keep listening, keep working, keep that drive going. Whatever is driving your life, your desire to do things better and more awesome, just do it today. Just do it. I saw this. I go on the interwebs in the morning and stuff, and there was this T-shirt. I forget it exactly what it said, but it was like basically it's a panda that's basically hammocking out on a Nike symbol, the "Just Do It" symbol, and the caption on the top of it says, "You just do it." Crazy. Anyway, oh, by the way, we're gonna also aim to launch our new brand, rocktshirt.com. We should have it at Rockland Music Fest. I don't even know. It's gonna be like a late minute edition or whatever, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, thank you everybody for listening to my ramblings. I see it is now, what is it? 12:53, and I really got to get down to the computer work in the next several minutes, and it's all going to be about Rockland Music Fest. The batteries are charged, ladies and gentlemen, and it's time to rock it out. And I hope to see every one of you on the field for Rockland Music Fest 12, coming this September 12th to Bowline Point Park with our headliner, Appetite for Destruction, the East Coast's largest Guns N' Roses tribute band. Plus, we're going to have 5 amazing local bands. We're going to have JP Conks, Michael Hilliard and the Working Class, Regular Riot, Lillian Brown and the Groove Cats, and George Romano and friends. On behalf of Tom Osa, Rockland Music Fest, Rockland's News, Rock Web Systems, Inc., and Rockland's Web Design, thank you. We'll catch you soon. And remember, go grab your tickets because this is going to be the one for the ages.